The galaxy did not remember the day because a great empire fell. It remembered the day because the most powerful woman in the universe refused to let one ordinary human leave. By sunset, every news network across 4,000 star systems was asking the same impossible question. Why would the alien queen imprison the very man who had just saved her daughter's life? Some believed it was gratitude twisted into royal custom. Others whispered that the human had discovered a secret no outsider was allowed to know. The oldest races said something far more frightening. If Queen Seraphine refuses to release someone, it is never because she hates them. It is because fate has already chosen them. At that moment, I had no idea any of those rumors existed. I was lying inside a medical chamber aboard the Queen's flagship, wondering if I had died. Soft blue light drifted across the ceiling like flowing water. Machines hummed quietly around me. The pain in my chest had almost disappeared. A mechanical voice spoke. Human physiology restored to 98%. I opened my eyes. The room was unlike anything I had ever seen. There were no visible walls. Only transparent crystal overlooking thousands of stars. The ship itself seemed alive. Its surface pulsed gently beneath my feet, as though I were standing inside the heartbeat of a giant creature. A door formed silently from the wall. Princess Lysera entered alone, without her damaged armor. She looked far younger than she had on the battlefield. She smiled when she saw I was awake. "You survived." "So did you." She laughed softly. "Because of you." For a few moments neither of us spoke. Finally I broke the silence. "I suppose the Queen will thank me, then send me home." The smile disappeared from her face. "You really don't know." "Know what?" "My mother has already rejected Earth's request for your return." I stared at her. "I'm a military officer. I have orders." "So did the ambassadors. And they were refused." My heartbeat quickened. "She can't simply keep me." Lysera looked away. "My mother can do almost anything." Before I could ask another question, the room darkened. Every screen inside the chamber activated at once. The alien queen had entered the bridge. Even through the live transmission, her presence commanded absolute silence. She wore no crown. She never needed one. Everyone in the room stood. She slowly spoke. "Bring Commander Daniel Cross to the throne chamber." No explanation, no discussion. The transmission ended. An hour later I stood before the largest doors I had ever seen. They opened without sound. The throne chamber stretched farther than I could see. Living trees grew beneath a ceiling filled with artificial stars. Water flowed through floating rivers suspended in midair. Instead of soldiers, silent guardian drones hovered between the pillars. At the far end stood Queen Seraphine. She dismissed every advisor with a single glance. Within seconds we were alone. She descended from her throne. "I am told humans bow before rulers. We usually salute. Then salute if it makes you comfortable." I did. She studied me carefully. "You ignored impossible odds." I did what anyone would have done. "No." Her answer came immediately. "My generals analyzed the battle. They concluded that every experienced commander would have retreated. You advanced." I shrugged. Someone needed help. For the first time, I noticed sadness behind her silver eyes. "You remind me of someone." I wasn't sure how to answer. Finally, I asked the question that had been haunting me. "Why won't you let me return to Earth?" The Queen remained silent for several seconds. When she finally answered, it wasn't what I expected. "Because someone has already tried to kill you twice." A chill ran down my spine. "What?" She touched the air. A hologram appeared between us. It showed my reconnaissance ship exploding moments. After I had boarded the royal shuttle, another recording followed, an assassin entering my hospital room while I was unconscious. Only the Queen's guards had stopped him. The assassin wasn't human. He wasn't even from the Void Syndicate. His armor carried the symbol of the Imperial Senate, the very government supposedly allied with Earth. Who sent him? We don't know. Then why me? The Queen's expression hardened. That is exactly what I intend to discover. She expanded the hologram again. This time it displayed the battlefield from every angle. One moment caught my attention. The instant I grabbed the Syndicate commander's energy blade, a pulse of blue light erupted from my hands. I frowned. I don't remember that. Neither should you. She enlarged the image. The blue energy hadn't come from the weapon. It had come from me. My blood ran cold. I've never seen anything like that. Neither has anyone else. She looked directly into my eyes. The blade should have cut through your hands. It didn't. It recognized you. Before I could respond, alarms echoed across the flagship. Every light turned crimson. An officer rushed into the chamber. Your Majesty, the prison deck has been breached. What happened? The surviving Void Commander escaped. The Queen didn't look surprised. He wasn't escaping. She whispered the words almost to herself. He came here. The officer looked confused. My Queen? She turned toward me. Stay behind me. We hurried through endless corridors until we reached the prison level. The walls had been torn apart from the inside. Dozens of elite guards lay unconscious. None had been killed, only disabled. At the center of the ruined chamber stood the Void Commander. He wasn't trying to flee. He was waiting. The moment he saw me, he dropped his weapon. Then, to everyone's shock, he knelt. Every royal guard raised their rifles. The commander ignored them. His eyes remained fixed on me. We searched 22 years. His voice trembled. And at last, we found you. The Queen's expression changed instantly. You know him? The commander slowly nodded. No. I know what he is. I stepped backward. I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't remember, he almost sounded disappointed. But your blood remembers. Before anyone could stop him, he reached inside his armor and removed a small crystal sphere. Instead of attacking, he placed it gently on the floor. The crystal floated into the air. Inside it appeared the image of an elderly human man. I froze. It was my father, the same father who had supposedly died in a mining accident 16 years earlier. He looked directly at me through the recording. If you're seeing this, Daniel, then they finally found you. My entire body went numb. The Queen looked at me in stunned silence. The Void Commander lowered his head. And for the first time since I had entered the Queen's empire, I realized saving the princess had never been an accident. Someone had been waiting for me long before I ever reached that battlefield. Daniel's hands trembled as the crystal sphere floated before him. The image of his father looked older than he remembered, but the calm expression was unmistakable. If you're seeing this, Daniel, the recording began, then Queen Seraphine has already found you. And that means the people hunting our family have found you too. The prison chamber became so quiet that even the royal guards forgot to breathe. I never died in a mining accident, the recording continued. I chose to disappear because there was no other way to keep you alive. Daniel felt the ground disappear beneath him. His entire childhood had been built on a lie. His father looked directly into the recording device. 25 years ago, I served as an advisor to Queen Seraphine during the First Void War. Together we discovered an ancient relic beneath a dead moon. Every civilization believed it was a weapon. They were wrong. The image shifted. An enormous crystal gateway appeared, stretching across space like a frozen river of light. It was a prison. The Queen slowly closed her eyes. She had hoped Daniel would never learn the truth this way. His father continued. Inside that prison sleeps an entity older than every empire in the galaxy. It feeds on hatred, fear, and endless war. The civilizations that built the prison sealed it with 2 living keys. One key remained with Queen Seraphine. The recording paused for only a heartbeat. The second key became you. Daniel stared at the Queen. You knew. She nodded. From the day you were born, and you never told me, you deserved a normal life. The Void Commander finally spoke. Our masters never wanted to kill the human. Every weapon immediately pointed toward him. We were ordered to capture him alive. The commander slowly removed his helmet. His face was covered with deep scars. You think the Void Syndicate serves itself. It doesn't. It serves the ones trying to break the prison. Before anyone could react, the flagship shook violently. Emergency alarms echoed through every corridor. An officer rushed into the chamber. Your Majesty, hundreds of unidentified warships have emerged from hyperspace. Another officer shouted over the communication network. No, thousands. The tactical display lit up with red symbols until the stars themselves disappeared beneath enemy markers. Daniel had never seen a fleet so large. Ships belonging to rival empires, pirate clans, mercenary guilds, even members of the Galactic Senate, civilizations that had hated one another for centuries, had united for one purpose. They all wanted him. The Queen looked toward the stars with quiet disappointment. So they finally stopped hiding. She turned to Daniel. They're not attacking because you saved my daughter. They're attacking because they believe sacrificing you will open the prison. Princess Lysera stepped beside Daniel without hesitation. Then they will have to come through us first. A faint smile appeared on the Queen's face. My daughter, you've finally begun to think like a queen. The flagship lurched again as explosions rippled across its shields. Outside, space had become a battlefield. Thousands of warships exchanged streams of blue, crimson, and golden energy. Entire cruisers vanished in silent flashes. The Queen activated the fleet-wide communication channel. Every allied captain listened. We are not fighting for an empire. We are fighting for every child who deserves to see tomorrow. Her calm voice spread through every bridge. Morale surged instantly. The royal fleet charged. Daniel watched the impossible battle through the observation deck. He had never imagined such destruction. World-sized carriers collided. Artificial moons fired planet-breaking cannons. The darkness itself seemed to burn. Then the enemy's largest dreadnought pierced the royal formation. Its weapon wasn't aimed at the flagship. It was aimed directly at Daniel. The Queen saw it first. Without a second's hesitation, she threw herself in front of him. The blast struck her personal shield. The impact shattered the chamber windows and sent everyone crashing across the floor. When the smoke cleared, Queen Seraphine was still standing, but her armor had cracked. Silver blood flowed slowly from her shoulder. Daniel stared at her in disbelief. You protected me. She looked at him as though the answer were obvious. I already failed your father once. I will not fail his son. Those words changed everything. For the first time, Daniel understood. She wasn't keeping him prisoner. She had been protecting him from a war he never knew existed. Another explosion rocked the flagship. The prison gateway had begun to awaken. A crack of black energy spread across its crystal surface. Whispers echoed through every mind, promises of power, promises of revenge. Entire enemy fleets suddenly turned on one another as the ancient entity manipulated their thoughts. Daniel remembered something his father always used to say. The strongest person isn't the one who wins every battle. It's the one who gives everyone else a reason to stop fighting. He stepped toward the gateway. The Queen reached for him. No, if you touch it, I know. He smiled gently. But this has been my choice from the beginning. He placed one hand against the ancient crystal. Instead of opening, the gateway responded to his heartbeat. Golden light spread through its surface. The darkness inside screamed. Every ship in the galaxy stopped firing. Every soldier watched. Daniel wasn't unlocking the prison. He was repairing it. His father's final gift had never been a weapon. It was the knowledge of how to strengthen the ancient seal. The fractures closed one after another. The whispers vanished. The enemy fleets regained their senses. Realizing they had nearly destroyed the galaxy under the influence of the imprisoned entity, thousands of captains powered down their weapons. Silence returned to space. For the first time in centuries, The war ended without another shot being fired. Days later, representatives from every major civilization gathered aboard the royal flagship. Before them all, Queen Seraphine approached Daniel. "This galaxy owes you a debt that can never be repaid." She removed the royal insignia from her armor and placed it in his hands. "I promised I would never let you leave." A quiet laugh spread through the chamber. She smiled for the first time since they had met. "I was wrong. No one who risks everything for strangers should ever be forced to stay anywhere. You are free." Daniel looked toward Earth shining in the distance. "I think it's time I finally went home." Princess Lysera hugged him before he left. "You'll visit?" Daniel smiled. "Only if you promise not to crash another royal shuttle." She laughed through tears. "I'll try." Months later, the galaxy looked different. The old alliances built on fear had been replaced by cooperation. Earth was no longer treated as a minor civilization. It had become a respected voice in the galactic accord, not because of superior weapons or wealth, but because one ordinary human had reminded the stars that courage, compassion, and selfless sacrifice could accomplish what entire fleets never could. Whenever historians were asked why the alien queen had refused to let Daniel cross leave after her daughter, they all reached the same conclusion. She hadn't been trying to keep a hero for herself. She had been protecting the last promise she made to an old friend. And when she finally let him go, the entire galaxy understood that true greatness was never measured by the power to rule others, but by the wisdom to set them free.